Hi guys. Hi Steph.
Hi.
Everyone, this is Stephanie Jiroch, and she is my amazing soul sister. I met her this year, and she is just so much fun. She's a blogger and a writer, and she writes a lot about sexual intimacy and, flirting with life. So I wanted to bring her on to talk with you guys, with me and with you guys today, because I think that she can bring a really fresh perspective to body confidence and helping us, get out of that either shyness or rut in our sensual lives.
So I love that. Thank you, Allie.
Thanks for being here, Steph. Isn't she the best? She's like, I always say, Steph, well, we talked about it on our last trip, but Steph's like, I have glitter trails following me. She does. Can't you see it?
Glitter's my middle name. I think that I was made out of sparkles. It's kind of scary.
You totally are. You totally are. Speaking of sparkles, okay, so I wanted to first just ask you, tell us a little bit about yourself, and how you've come to do the work that you're doing in the world.
Sure. So for the last, 6 years, I've been a yoga instructor, kind of like a health advocate for women. I've worked and been a volunteer at Planned Parenthood. I've done a course in sex coaching, so I'm a sex coach as well. I work with women around sex and intimacy issues. And it kind of showed up in my yoga work. I was working mostly with women, reproductive health, postnatal, and it just started to evolve. I've always had a thing for women's health and freedom around sexuality. May that be reproductive health care or just the sense of being alive, having orgasms, feeling good in your body. It's what I love to do. So it's just kind of evolved over time, and here I am today writing about it. I'm still coaching and just kind of looking at what I want to do in the future. But flirting with life is kind of my new approach, and it's what I'm doing with women right now and how to expand your life in a bigger, better way through all areas: health, business, relationships, love. So yeah, it's all evolving.
Oh my God, I love that. And I think the flirting with life, it's just amazing, because I think that's really, you and I were talking about right before we got in the interview, it's the first step in really allowing intimacy or full body confidence, because we have to begin to play with what's around us, right? And I think you're such a great example of flirting with life. Your life is not a flirt. Your life is just flirtatious in general.
It is. It is.
So I want you to share your secrets with us, because, the first time I talked to you, I was let everyone know, I shared a lot of really personal things about my sexual life, and you were just so open and non-judgmental about it. And I think that, in our culture, we just have a hard time talking about these things, or we're afraid or ashamed, especially women with body image issues. So I guess I wanted to first talk about that, why you think we're not talking about it and how we can start talking more.
Sure. I mean, yeah, the sex conversation, sensuality, it's a hot topic no matter what. And it's interesting to talk to women because they do want to talk about it and they don't know who to turn to. And looking back on my own struggle with my body image, I think every woman deals with it in a different way. And I suffered for many years from an eating disorder when I was younger, and it took a long time to break out of the shell of silence around that, let alone around my sexuality and sensuality. And it's a work in progress for every woman. I think every woman has to go through, her path of figuring out whatever that equates body confidence and what equates a really sexual, sensual life that's fulfilling for her. And looking at all the different avenues in which you can go about doing that, it really takes kind of a special person. I think, Allie, you're a great person for that, and hopefully I can be for my clients one day, of creating a space that's safe. And so that's kind of the first step, is creating a safe space and looking at, there's so many avenues in which we can express ourselves. How do we start to do it in a way that is in alignment with who we know we really are on the inside? Because I think there's so much that we can all offer. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense. And I think what you're getting at that I hear is really knowing who you are on the inside, just really understanding that you're worthy, you're deserving, knowing your truth and maybe your weaknesses and your strengths, and then being able to express that, you know, for what you're talking about sexually. But yeah, it's like, that's what I don't know, that's really great.
Yeah. And
so
it
cool.
takes a while, you know. It took me a long time to realize that I loved glitter and bright pink. You know, and I own it. And a lot of people don't like it, you know, and that's okay.
Look,
that's like the first step.
I have a hot pink heart on for you.
I love you.
I love
You're
it.
amazing.
Yeah, it takes a long time, you're right. And I think that's why it's so important to do this kind of work, to really, you know, have a container, whether it be a coach or you're just doing it by yourself. But I think it is helpful to have someone mirror back to you who you are, and also just accept all of the mess and all of that that's coming out, that you in your head seem to think it's dangerous or, you know, messed up or not supposed to be there. When someone's like, no, it's okay, then you can begin to, you know, accept that part of yourself.
Yes,
that's
totally.
awesome. So I wanted to talk to you about this, because a lot of my clients, you know, aren't that experienced sexually. And, you know, it comes from, you know, when you're not comfortable in your body, you don't feel comfortable sharing that with others, obviously. Like, if you don't want to look at yourself, you don't want anyone else looking at you, and it feels unsafe and dangerous, and there's a lot of fear around being judged. So what's a couple things that you think someone like that could do, like maybe a first 1 or 2 steps to start breaking out of that zone?
Yeah, definitely. There's a couple things. I've worked with different clients around this. The first thing I always recommend to women, especially if there's a little bit of a nervousness around engaging with someone either sensually or sexually, or just being in a relationship with them. It doesn't even have to be physical, but just being around someone and sharing a dynamic, is I always recommend every day waking up and taking one body part, just praising it. 3 minutes of praise. So that could be, today it could be my hips. You know, I have wider hips for my size, and I love my hips. And I spend 3 minutes running my hands over my hips, caressing my hips, telling my hips how much I love them. You know, I mean, really spending time appreciating the body that you have. So that's always the first step, is every day there's a new body part and there's a new level of appreciation. So I always start out with that. The second thing that I love to tell clients to do, and this is a little sometimes off the wall for people, is that I tell them to eat naked. Oh
my God, I love that. Stop it. Okay, doing that today.
Yes, so I always recommend my clients to eat naked. And yeah, it's a unique approach. But one of the things I look at, especially with women who perhaps have body confidence issues or aren't happy with their current size or whatever it is that's going on in their head around who they are and how they physically show up, I always tell them, eat naked, because what happens when you eat naked is, one, you get really zoned in on how hungry you are, right? Because you're eating naked. Like, I mean, you're eating a big pile of spaghetti butt naked. You're kind of like, this is a very interesting experience.
There's nothing more primal than that.
There's nothing more primal. And the second thing is, you know, not only do you realize, oh, I'm kind of full, because when we wear clothes and we zone out and we're eating and we're like, many of times, we disconnect. We have this space that no longer shows up around what we're really feeling and what we're putting in our mouths. So I ask, release all that, turn off the TV, take off your clothes, sit down, eat some food. And it also makes you very sensually aware of how food interacts with your body. So how we eat. Are you shoveling it in your mouth? Are you taking delectable bites? Are you savoring the juices of a fruit? I mean, whatever it is that you're eating at the time, I think that you can physically start to connect in with yourself at a such deeper level. And then you get to experience your body in a whole new way. You get to experience the sensuality of having food inside of it. The idea of your veins, your blood, everything being nourished. And I think that's a wonderful opportunity for women to connect with themselves sensually. And then we can start to step into, okay, emotionally, how do we want to start to interact with men? You know, we have to start being with ourselves and our bodies first.
Yes. Oh my God, Steph,
Yeah,
that's
a little out of the box.
No, I don't even think that's, I mean, it is out of the box, but I think that's just absolutely insanely wonderful idea because, I mean, I do that with my clients, you know, just sitting and really learning how to savor our food, but this takes it to a whole new level. Like, you know, when you're naked, you are really aware of your body. You can't not be. Like, it's just...
Yes.
That's awesome. I love that. So what do you see happens when your clients do that? I'm just curious.
It's amazing. There's a lot of crying, usually, at first, a lot of anger.
Yeah.
A lot of, like, I don't want to do this, resisting, which I think is completely natural.
Yeah.
Over time, it starts to show up that there's more of a grounded sense of being. So they can sit quietly now and eat instead of it being this big fanfare. I think we think of food as a reason why our bodies don't look good a lot of times. And really, it's not all that. You can enjoy a hamburger, you know, and not make it the bad guy. You know, you can enjoy a piece of fruit and not make it the bad guy. And what I find with the women who start to do this is they start to really love how food nourishes them. And they start to take into account that food actually provides for them. You know, and then when they're sitting there and they're, you know, you're naked, so you're eating, your breasts are out, your hips, you're, you know, whatever. It's much more here instead of over there on the plate. And I start to notice women really experience their bodies in a new way. So they're wearing better clothes when they put their clothes back on. They're wearing stuff that maybe flaunts something that they weren't flaunting before. And they start to appreciate the way their body moves because food becomes a new component to the way they live, not an enemy.
Oh my God. You're speaking to my heart right now. I just
that.
That's just so beautiful. Because, you know, a lot of it is the guilt that we put on when when we eat food, we believe that that's what's going to cause us to gain weight or to, you know, just it's what's causing our bodies to be the way they are. And you're right, it's not. It's just that belief system. So just getting back into our bodies is essential.
Totally.
Love it.
And getting used to being naked. You know, we're not used to being naked, so that's a huge part of sensuality is like sitting naked. You know, and a lot of times if you can't sit naked with yourself, why do you expect a man, you know, to sit naked with you or a woman to sit naked? Like, what, you know, you can't expect that. So, you know, you really have to get here first, center yourself, get used to yourself naked. Maybe it means sitting naked eating or standing in front of a mirror and really start to appreciate it because truthfully, a lot of my clients, they want to jump into a relationship with someone, have a partner, have sex, whatever that is, and yet they're not with themselves. You know, they're not masturbating. They're not watching themselves naked. They're not spending enough time with themselves to understand their own bodies, and yet they're expecting another person to take over that role for them. And again, it comes down to responsibility of it's taking it into your own hands and enjoying your own self before you can be with another.
I love that. And what about the next step? So, like, let's say a woman is already, like, masturbating a lot and comfortable with herself naked and looking at herself in the mirror naked and telling her that she loves her body and loves herself. But then, you know, getting out there in the world is the thing that's holding her back. What can we do there?
Oh, that's fun. This is when it gets really fun. So I love this. So one of the things I love to have my clients and I go out to get drinks together. And that doesn't always have to be like alcoholic drinks, but like we can do a happy hour. And I love going to happy hour and spending time with clients and helping them flirt. So one of the biggest steps inside flirting is having fun. It's fun and it empowers yourself and it empowers the person that you're flirting with, which we kind of forget about sometimes. You know, we always think of flirting as being, you know, like all about you, like I want attention and I, you know, look at me. And really, you're providing attention to somebody else. And sometimes that could make someone's day. It empowers people in such a different way. And so instead of taking it on for you, it's about giving to another person, which makes it so much fun. So what I always recommend is spend some time flirting in terms of like winking or maybe saying hi, or maybe you smile at everyone who walks past you today. Little things just to engage with others. Make eye contact for no longer than 3 seconds. If you get to 5, you look a little weird. Just to get people a little freaked out with
we don't want creepers.
So I wouldn't recommend that. But, you know, do the 3-second eye contact, smile, wink. And it could be to the postman. It could be to someone you aren't physically attracted to at all, because that's not the point of flirting. The point of flirting is really to start to ignite that inner spark, start to give to someone else, right? So you're giving someone else attention. You're showing them at least some sort of enthusiasm or praise in the way that you're interacting with them. And it could be anybody. Again, it could be the mailman. It could be the grocer at the store. And just spend some time giving to others. That's the first step. Right? And then you get to kind of build the momentum of flirting. So today you winked at 2 people. Awesome. Tomorrow I want you to smile at 10 people. So every day you get to just a little bit more, a little bit more. And eventually you're going to be doing this so naturally after 30 days of doing little things every day. You're going to do this so naturally that it doesn't even it's not homework. It's who you become. It's who you are. It's the twinkle in the eye. It's just the smirk on your face. It's the way that you interact. And that's when the real magic starts to happen. That's when it gets real fun.
Steph, I love that you just switched, because in my mind, flirting is about receiving, but flirting's really giving.
Yeah.
And that
definitely
changes, we're, as women, natural givers. So flirting can be an easy thing if we think of it that way. I remember, I'm really glad you said the winking thing, because this was when I was very insecure, and I had a coach, and she said, all right, tomorrow you're just going to go out and wink at someone. Like, even if it's just like you're in the car and you're winking at the guy and he can see you. And I was like, what? Like, I have to do that? And honestly, like, you can ask, you can't ask my friends, but I was with a couple friends when I did it. I was the happiest person ever afterwards. Like, I'm like, oh my God, I'm alive. I'm okay. That was so fun. And it was just one wink. And like, seriously, I still think about how happy that day was for me.
I love it.
It is just, all you have to do is just go out there and smile a little bit more, or wink at someone this week. That's it.
Yeah. And it's okay if you do that. And the thing that I deal with clients is that a lot of women are nervous that they're asking for attention that maybe isn't wanted. Or maybe what if they wink and then that guy wants to ask them out? You know, there's a lot of like, oh, wait a minute, what if they then come up to me? And what I work on is saying, okay, so if they come up to you, that's fine. You simply say, hi, how are you? This is just a person. You know, this is just a person, and we're okay, you know, and we take it baby steps. Like, you've interacted with 1,000 people in your life. This is just one other person you're going to interact with, and it's okay. And then we work on, you know, saying no or saying yes and how we want to look at that. But that's just a whole nother step in the game, but it's just another person. And we put so much meaning on, well, what if? And it's like, okay, worst case scenario, they come say hi. Okay, that's not the worst. That's pretty good. It's not too bad. Like, it's not too bad. So, yeah. And it's, you know, it's stepping outside your comfort zone. And I love that you felt so alive after you did that, because that is the feeling. Yeah. You feel alive. You know, you feel alive because you offered up something that day. You know, and what an amazing opportunity to feel that. You know, and if you could feel that every day, just out of natural curiosity, love, enthusiasm, flirtatiousness, like, what an amazing life you would live.
Amazing. Oh,
I love it.
Steph, thank you so much for this refreshing perspective. I feel like are renewed. I know everyone's going to love this. And just to end the interview, I want to ask you, what does body confidence mean to you?
Ooh, what a great question. Oh, body confidence to me, wow, I've spent years in this. This is great. Body confidence to me is exhibiting who I am on the inside, on the outside. And it doesn't matter about size, and it doesn't matter about weight, and it doesn't matter about measurements and what I'm wearing or how my hair looks today. Body confidence is when my inner glitter, sparkle, glow is showing up in every one else. So if I can be that for you, then that's body confidence for me.
That's amazing, Steph. Your inner glitter is showing today.
Inner glitter, so sparkling.
Inner glitter. Oh, I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I will, tell us how we can find you online.
Oh, sure. So website, StephanieJiroch.com, Jiroch. I have a very interesting last name.
I'll put a link down there too.
Perfect. And then at Twitter is at @sjiroch. So feel free to contact me, reach out. Would love to hear from anybody, you know. It's an amazing opportunity to be part of your community, Allie. It's absolutely fantastic.
Thank you for being here, Steph. I really, really enjoyed this. And I'm going to go wink. I'm going to go wink again today.
Yes, wink 3 times. You
All
have
right.
3 winks today.
Done and done. I love it. All right,
girl.
bye, girl. Kisses.
Bye, hon. Mwah.
Bye, everyone.